G'day guys, Craig here again. Welcome to another episode of Craig and Uncle Linntons Adventures. And in this episode I thought we might have a look at some butterfly butterflies that you can bring to your backyard in fact, as well as some monarchs as well, which are not that common in Victoria, but they're a butterfly species that we do all the time anyway. And we'll show you how to get that cracking as well for the new season. So it is the new season, it's September, and we need to get ready for butterfly season. And for the viewers at home, show you a little bit about what butterflies would be flying around your yard and what plants what they choose to put their eggs on and so forth, and what you should be perhaps just growing in your backyard rather than pulling out as a weed. We're talking about stinger nettle, plantain, and but first of all I think we'll wander around and have a look at some stinger nettle, which is for the Australian admiral butterfly. So let's just go down the back now and have a look at some stinger nettle so everyone knows what that plant is. Let's have a look at some of these. Now down here, this is the stinger nettle we're talking about, and this is a native Australian plant, and you can actually eat this, but it has got stingers on it, and I'm going to put my fingers in now and have a look. I don't care if I get stung. So, but underneath and on top of the leaf, if you can pan right in, you might be able to see the stingers. We'll look sideways across that leaf. Can you see the stingers there? Now there will sting you, right? The idea here is the butterfly chooses this plant to put its eggs on. The stingers on the leaves will protect the caterpillar, which is why the butterfly chooses this plant. And this is a weed in Australia, called a weed. It shouldn't be. It's actually a herb, and you can eat it. Like I said, you can. What I do with it is I pull all the leaves off, and I will put them in with a gravy. So just blanching them, I rinse them under hot water first, out of the tap, then onto the frying pan with the fat that's in there from your cooking. And you know, when you make your gravy in the pan, put lots and lots of these in and make your gravy with a bit of cheese in, like your cheese gravy or your white sauce with your stinger nettle. And in the culinary world they call this nettle, so you might be familiar with that now. So by blanching it, the stingers will be destroyed and you can eat it. It tastes a little bit like cod and cheese, so if you can appreciate that flavour, where it's not very much cod. The cheese, when you put the cheese with and your gravy, will kill the cod flavour, and you'll get a nice cheesy sort of a garnish really. But it's extremely healthy for you, very good for you. Got a lot of good qualities in it, a lot of good properties. I won't go through the properties, but it's very good for you. So if you can find a way of eating it, it's always a good thing. And going back to the butterfly, we want you to grow this in your backyard like we're doing here. So in an area where you don't mow, just let it grow, and the butterfly will fly in, and you'll be able to watch the butterfly laying her eggs on the tree. Okay, so you don't need to have this in pots. Just let it grow around the yard, somewhere where you don't walk all the time, especially if you've got shorts. But there's always a corner in your backyard somewhere where you don't go much. Let it grow, and if you want to spread the seeds, watch this. See how I'm doing that? All the seeds are flying off, and they'll grow next to the old plants. Okay, now. So over here, if you look around here, we'll show you a beautiful swan plant just here. And I've got some in pots, but they've got to be dealt with from last year. Remember we said we're going to start for the new season, but that's what it should look like. And we're going to show you now how to make some of these in pots, getting ready for the new season. Okay, this is called a swan plant, and we'll show you why it's called a swan plant, because it has little swans. The seed pod looks like a swan. So let's have a look at that over here. On an old one, like this one, and if I was to rip that off like that, there we have a beautiful little swan. There's his little head, a couple of eyes, and it will actually float on the water, just to show you that as well. Put the swan, take that milk off, that's poison. This plant is also toxic, because the butterfly is looking for a toxic plant to put its eggs on, remember? And the little swan will float on the water, hence the name swan plant. So let's go and have a look and see how we propagate and make some swan plants for next season's butterfly season over here. Okay guys, first thing we've got to do is get a tray like this, and we need some half decent potting mix. I'll mix up a bit of mix here. This is our mix from old pots and all sorts of things, and we mix in other things here, a bit of chook manure and things from off the park. Remember, we're at Magic Park in Dandenong. If you don't know where that is, because you can't find it on the Melways, it's Magic Frogs and Insects, 20 Hammond Road, Dandenong, which we call Magic Park. There we go. Now, what we do here, give this a little shake around, and take out any lumps and, as I call it, crap that you don't want. Bits of things in here. Any stones or big pieces of dirt, take out. Alright, so we're just making that clean to a point. We don't have to be too fussy. Alright, now we need some seeds. So we'll come over here. There. Now I'm going to make a big tray, and then I'll separate these up into pots later on. So I'll just go over and get some seeds now. Right, we're moving along pretty quickly here. So in your hand, put them all in if you want. And we're going to just sprinkle them on top like this. It's going to be very, very thick. Remember I said half of these won't pop because they're old. So we sort of overplant with more than we need. Like that. And now, taking out some lumps as well. Anything you don't want in there, keep taking it out. Now, this is the important part. You'll notice that I used pretty crappy soil there, but that's okay. The roots will go into anything. What the problem is that the young seedling needs very fine and very good soil to punch through. So this is where we need to get some fine soil, and we'll show you how we're going to do that with the same soil. We're going to sift some nice, fine potting raising mix. So over here I need a sift. Up here we'll use another tray. Okay, same as what we've already used. Get the shovel, same mix. Put some on top. Now, only the small bits will fall through the little holes. You need to shake this, and you shake it over the top like this, and what we end up with, very fine seed raising mixture, and all the lumps in the top. So we continue here, we'll get right down, get all the little bits out, and as you can see, all the lumps, that's what the young seedlings can't punch through. Chuck that back there. That seeding tray now is ready to go. You can see the beautiful fine soil on top. Straight out of the sifter. And I'm just going to smooth it across to the edges now to make it all uniform. Alright. And one more little trick to show you before we end is the watering. Okay, now the watering is fairly important, especially the temperature of the water for this time of year. It's very cold, and these are a tropical plant. They usually need a fair bit of heat to kick the seed, a bit like a gum tree that needs a bushfire. So rather than a bushfire, we're going to use hot water. So we're going to get some hot water now in the watering can. I'll put these over here on the ground, ready for watering. Now I appreciate in summertime I wouldn't need to do this because it'd be hot enough. But because it's September, it's still pretty cold, and these seeds need to be accelerated. So from a height, up in the air, as high as you can, making like rain. Because we don't want to disturb the seeds, and that's enough. Let it soak in, and then we'll do it again 2, 3 or 4 times to heat the soil up. And then I'm going to put this into a greenhouse. So we'll do it one more time, we'll come back and do some more in a minute, one more. And I'll show you some now in the greenhouse that we prepared earlier. And when I say greenhouse, I am talking about our actual butterfly house, which is where we can accelerate our seeds, especially when there's no butterflies in here. If there was butterflies in here, they'd be putting their eggs on our seedlings, which wouldn't be very good, would it? But anyway, down here, here's some we prepared earlier. And you can see the young swan plants have cracked. So that's a weed, take that away. Now that there, and there, what do you think that is? It's a stinger nettle, which is also a butterfly flower. But because we don't want it on this tray, we're going to pull that out. Pull them out. That's a weed, that's a weed, that's a weed. We'll call it a weed, even though it's a stinging nettle, because we don't want it in this particular tray. Okay, so take the weeds out a little bit, and then what you've got left is only the swan plants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's going to be about 20 in this lot. And then here I've got some more coming up. They're just starting to pop. That's a weed. And that's how we go. That's how we get our swan plants ready. And I will be making another 2 or 3 trays. Also put some into their individual pots as well later on. Okay guys, look, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. And just before we go guys, I just wanted to tell you about a very special interview Uncle Linton's going to be doing. Hang on. I'm sorry guys. Yeah, I know, I'm being told he's going to be here. He wants to tell you himself. So, here you go.
Hello Australia, it's me, the Trumpster, Trumpy, Trumpet, the El Presidente, and on Friday, October 26th, I will be doing a very special, very rare, one-on-one interview with the esteemed Linton Stinkton, also known as Uncle Linton, and I will be answering all the questions that are put to me. I may even reveal a secret or two. And my voice will hopefully sound a lot better by then. So make sure you tune in. See you then.
Oh yeah, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons.
What?